What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Today it's time for the Nightfall. It's time to do our weekly Nightfall. We're going to face the Darkblade on his own turf, in the dark. We're going to kill him, we're going to get his loot on all three of the characters, and see if anything good happened to drop for me. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, we'll see at the end. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button, and subscribe to the channel. Now this is by far my favorite part of the Nightfall. I love absolutely mowing through all of these thralls that are trying to give me little thrall hugs, but they don't realize that they have claws, and the claws hurt. So Zalo Supercell is perfectly made for that, don't ever need to reload, and it's so much fun. But before we actually get to the Darkblade, I want to show one other fun thing that was actually going on with our Nightfall. Over here, we're just in the very beginning area with those taken wizards, and they're shooting us and all seems normal, except for, what are those? What are those things? Whenever I saw them, I had to just stop, and just like shiny things, I got attracted to them, and harmlessly they fall there, but they're not done. All kinds of wizards can go about doing it. They're blasting me with the shots, and in slow motion, I'm suddenly Neo from the Matrix. I can dodge bullets. I can dodge bullets. So yeah, that was pretty interesting, and a lot of fun. So as far as the Nightfall goes, you've done the Darkblade. You know what he's all about. You know you can't see anything in this area. And one of your biggest allies is jumping up in the air. As far as some modifiers go, we've got Catapult. So if you've got the Voidwalker, and you've been using the Voidwalker build that I suggested last week, you're definitely going to enjoy your time in this Nightfall. You already get ridiculous grenade energy whenever you're just using the Voidwalker build. We'll add Catapult to it, and it's even better. One thing I noticed is that we also have exposure on, so that means that our shields recharge really slowly. I know they say that they don't recharge, but they recharge really slowly. Something that you'll notice if you're using this Voidwalker build, whenever you kill something with a grenade, you will get a small amount of life. And sure, it's not a full life heal like you would normally get, but any extra amount of health that you grab is always a welcome thing. I honestly don't think that exposure is that bad of a modifier. I think typically whenever people have it on in a Nightfall strike, they barely recognize it. There are actually a lot of perks and weapons, obviously, that can give you your health back. I don't find that it's ever that big of a detriment to me whenever it's the modifier. I don't think it's that bad of a modifier. In fact, maybe it helps, because you're really not as squishy as you are normally. You also have match game on. And what match game is, it means that basically whenever you shoot an enemy with a shield, you're going to want to shoot it with the same element in order to make sure that you're dealing out the most damage possible. So one thing I would recommend is making sure to have some solar weapons. There are a lot of wizards that are in the area, and they all carry solar shields, so having a solar weapon to deal with those solar shields, take them down really quickly, is going to work out in your favor. And thankfully you definitely have the right tool in your arsenal. Everybody's got that raid heavy machine gun, it's solar, it's going to melt the wizards, so be sure to put it on and use it. It's really going to help you out a whole lot. Those wizards can be a pain in the butt, especially whenever they tag team you and start double shooting all those spams of bullets. It's no fun. I also do have on this Void sniper rifle. It's actually my LDR, which is pretty nice. It helps for the taken wizards who do have the Void shields, and when you get to that one area where there are all those shriekers around, and you want to kind of take a few of them out and then run over and kind of get to the bridge that we showed in the beginning where all the thrall are, it's nice to be able to at least take down one of those wizards. As far as the primary goes, you can tell I'm rocking out that Zalo. I like having my primary weapon with a burn, though I don't really recall if there are any actual arc shields in this entire Nightfall. If there are, they're really not that big of a deal. You don't really need to wear the Zalo. You can feel free to use whatever primary weapon you're most comfortable with. I just like to have all three of the flavors if I can. But yeah, I really don't recall there being anything significant with an arc shield. If there is, we might have run past it. We might have just run right past it. But I would recommend you have something Void and something Solar, because the witches come in those two flavors, and they are a pain to take down. And if you're not shooting them with those like elements and turning match game into your favor, they're going to be just a bit more difficult, a bit more of a pain in the butt to deal with. And why make your life more difficult than it needs to be? No, just take them down, wear your Void, wear your Solar, you'll be in good shape. Watch out for those explodey thralls though, they can be a pain in the butt. But thanks to the magic of television, I'm miraculously revived thanks to Devil Dog running around and taking care of the entire group. So the Darkblade, he ended up losing his helmet. The nice thing is that whenever you get him low enough, he'll stop spawning in all of the different ads, this entire area, you know, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this particular fight. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit conflicted. I think the fight's fun to be a part of. I think it's not so much fun to make a video of because it's so dark. Unless the guy's actually illuminated by some of these special abilities, like that vortex grenade, you can't really see exactly what's going on. You know that my gun's turning all over the place, sometimes it's firing, sometimes you can see some glowing hive enemies, but other than that, the area is dark. You can't see anything or make out anything. Thankfully, he is almost done. We're just using that heavy machine gun to finish him off. Unfortunately, we've got a lot less heavy ammo. That's a shame. Also, if you happen to pop a bubble, you can be sure that when the Darkblade spawns back in, he's going to spawn right by that bubble. He loves it. It's like a mouse to cheese. But he goes down, and I see a purple. Remember, the strike-specific gear drops much more frequently in the Nightfall, and it can drop up to 335 light. So I got the fusion rifle. Let's take a look at what it's like. Whenever we take a look at its light, remember, this is pretty much like my first Nightfall reward right here. I get something before I even get to the reward screen. It's a 330 fusion rifle. Now, its perks are so-so, but I'm going to keep it for just right now until I decide if I want to infuse it into something else, if I want to keep it around as just a vanity piece, or if I decide on what type of gear I actually want to put up to 330, because I have no idea. That's one of my struggles, trying to figure out exactly what gear I want to infuse up. So that's really not a bad way to start things off. Getting a 330 gun, that could be infusion fuel, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. As far as the actual Nightfall rewards go, this is what we're all waiting for. We end up nabbing some stuff. Devil got himself an exotic. I ended up actually nabbing a class item, so 329. Not too shabby. It's probably better than the class item I actually had. And Pooj gets himself a 329 ghost shell. You gotta get a ghost shell in the Nightfall. You gotta get a ghost shell in the Nightfall. Now it's time to move on over to the Hunter. Is he gonna give us anything any better? Well, it looks like Devil ended up nabbing some strange coins. I got some 329 gloves. That might not sound like a lot to you, but I need gloves really bad on all my characters. So gloves are definitely a welcome addition to this Hunter. Definitely pleased with that. Though of course, they were infusion fuel. Finally, on my Titan, last Nightfall of the week, what do we end up nabbing? Finally, some exotics. I finally got my first exotic of the new Taken King April update expansion. It's a Monte Carlo at light level 327. I also got this Sparrow toolkit, and I remembered that you can now actually preview everything that's in the toolkits. So as I'm looking through all these Sparrows, it looks like I'm only missing one. It looks like I'm only missing the Void one. So, will I actually get the Void one, or will I get a duplicate Sparrow that I already own? Only one way to find out. We end up opening up this package, and it looks like we got the Void Sparrow. So, pretty nice. I would say that the loot system in Destiny has definitely got a big overhaul. Obviously, as time goes on, we're going to be getting a lot of repeats of things, but for right now, they really are focusing on trying to give you stuff that you don't already have, or stuff that's actually going to help you, or be a higher light level than what you already are. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Nightfall, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Darkblade, I spite you.